The StarCon Federation has reached its decision. Roger Wilco, please step forward. Roger Wilco, you have been judged guilty of the following crimes: abandoning your post, deviating from mission parameters, misuse of StarCon property, disintegrating a fellow officer, perpetrating a sequel without authorization, and consorting with a female of higher rank. Do you have anything to say for yourself before we pronounce sentence?
Can't you guys take a joke?
Do you have anything intelligent to say for yourself before we pronounce sentence?
Nope.
Very well. It is the opinion of this tribunal that as punishment for your crimes against the StarCon Federation, you are to be decommissioned. You are hereby stripped of the rank of captain. You are no longer an officer of the StarCon Federation. Your enrollment at StarCon Academy is hereby terminated. However, due to your successful return of the SCS Eureka, your rescue of the Goliath's crew, and the fact that nobody gets rid of stubborn mildew stains and black heel marks as well as you do, we are returning you to your former post with StarCon Fleet. You are hereby ordered to resume your duties immediately as janitor second class on board the SCS DeepShip 86.
Attention all hands. This is your commander speaking. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for your fine performance during our recent episode, A Stitch in Time Saves Gamma 9. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, 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 thank you. Thank you, 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 thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As a gesture of appreciation, we're putting in for shore leave on Polysorbate 60. Enjoy yourselves, and don't do anything I wouldn't do. Kielbasa out.
Meanwhile, in a deserted warehouse just outside the galaxy,
I don't care how you do it, gentlemen, so long as his body is intact. Do you understand?
Yes, we got it. Yes, right, we got it. Yes, right.
Good. Now, I believe you'll find him here, on Polysorbate 60, on shore leave.
Okay, I'm ready. Energize!
As we join our hero, Roger Wilco, he has just been transported to the surface of Polysorbate 60 to enjoy a little shore leave. Apparently, there was a minor glitch in the process. Well, at least you got here with all your important parts, your hands, your mouth, and your stomach.
Oh, great! Real wonderful. Nice beam job, you metallic piece of scrap. Jeez, this is snug. Real snug. You know, it actually makes me feel kind of good. I remember when I used to wear my mom's... well, never mind. No time for nostalgia. I've got a serious extraction problem to work out first.
A serious extraction problem indeed. Hello, dear viewers, and welcome back to Saving Often. This is Space Quest 6, The Spinal Frontier, and we have just gotten started. This is part 1. As we can see here, our hero Roger Wilco has been decommissioned after his captaincy in Space Quest 5, and we're kind of just back to being a janitor dude. So, I have a lot of very fond memories of the Space Quest game. I know that I say that a lot. I probably say that about every game that I play, but this one in particular. I don't think Space Quest 6 is my favorite Space Quest, but it has some of my favorite moments in Space Quest, some of my favorite memories. You know, I've been playing through a lot of adventure games with a group of friends via Discord, and one thing that we've discussed is how a lot of us, when we were kids, would play the later titles in a series, like a Space Quest 6 or a King's Quest 7 or a Quest for Glory 4, etc., simply because those are the ones that looked best. They looked the best, they sounded the best, they had voice acting, so we tended to gravitate toward those games when we were little. That was definitely the case for me. This was my favorite Space Quest game to play, simply because it just looks so damn good. It looks like a cartoon come to life, which is something that I think they tried to do with games like King's Quest 7 and Torrens Passage, though those kind of had more of a Disney bent. Whereas this just feels like, I don't know, I love the style, I love everything about this game, so I'm very excited to get into this. So if you've played other Sierra games, or if you've been watching along with this series, you're familiar with the way that they typically look. And the first thing that comes to mind here is how much different Space Quest 6 looks compared to the other Sierra games. There's no status bar at the top, there's no icon bar. Instead, we're treated with having all of our icons here along the bottom of the screen. In fact, we have an entire status window here at the bottom of the screen. It's a decidedly LucasArts approach to the way that everything looks visually, and you know, I really like it. We have our icons here. Basically, we have our pockets, which is our inventory. Our subtitles show up here in this bottom window, and our most recent inventory item shows up over here. This has a lot in common, like I said, with Scum games from LucasArts, such as Secret of Monkey Island and Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, Day of the Tentacle, etc. But it also is kind of reminiscent of Space Quest 6, or not Space Quest 6, Leisure Suit Larry 6. Leisure Suit Larry 6, the original non-talkie version, also had a very similar panel at the bottom of the screen, so I can't help but wonder if they took some inspiration from that. I wouldn't be surprised, especially considering how, if you were paying attention during the opening cutscene, you could see emblazoned on the side of the DeepShip 86 the initials LSL7BFD, which of course stood for, or LSL6BFD, which of course stood for Leisure Suit Larry 6, big fucking deal. So, you know, there was probably a bit of rivalry internally with some of the development teams, but if not some spite because of the popularity of Leisure Suit Larry 6. Anyway, this isn't Leisure Suit Larry 6, this is Space Quest 6, and we are here on Polysorbate 60, stuck in a hole in the ground, and we need to find our way out of here. So let's start by having a quick look around.
Seldom have you had the good fortune to get to know a street so up close and personal. You feel you have a real bond growing.
There are some fellas crossing the street here.
Seldom have you had the good... Hey, that one looks familiar. It lacks a bit in the stature department, though.
And this is the one that we need. Let's see if we can get this guy to help us out. Oh, but we missed. Okay. So yeah, the way to get out of this little predicament here is to grab onto a passerby, but unfortunately we need one who can get us the proper leverage. So we're going to have to wait for that fellow with the spindly legs to walk past again. But in the meantime, we can have a look around. I love this cinema here. The marquee displays a random message every time you come onto this screen. In this case, it's referencing Josh Mandel, one of the designers, the third guy from Andromeda, who kind of took over development of this game. Space Quest 6 unfortunately went through some development hell. If you recall from my Space Quest 5 video, I mentioned that Mark Crow and his team at Dynamics had taken over and Scott Murphy was not involved. And Mark Crow and Scott Murphy were the two guys from Andromeda, the creators of Space Quest. So Mark Crow got Space Quest 5 and Scott Murphy got Space Quest 6. I'm not sure if Josh Mandel was with him from the beginning on that or not, but regardless, Mark Crow was not involved, and eventually Scott Murphy left the project as well, so Josh Mandel kind of took over. And we're going to grab this guy as he passes by here. Maybe. There we go.
Thank you, my good man. Yikes, I hope everything came out with me.
So yeah, as I was saying, Josh Mandel kind of took over the production role from that point forward. And there's a lot of inconsistencies in this game. I'm not going to lie, this is not a perfect game. There's a lot of things that were kind of left unfinished that had to get tied up. There's one puzzle in particular that originally had a lot of clues in the manual for how you were supposed to handle it. It was the copy protection, but most of those clues did not make it into the final product, so it's just a kind of half-assed puzzle that's needlessly difficult. There's unfortunately quite a bit of that, just kind of unrealized ideas throughout, but I still love this game. It's still, again, one of my favorites. It's probably my second favorite Space Quest game. I'd have to really give it some thought as to the ranking, and I might just do that after I finish this last video. Roger's getting bored. But yeah, I love Space Quest 6. It has its share of problems. So we'll see Josh Mandel's influence. I know I keep bringing him up, but he's pretty prolific as far as Sierra Star designers go, and I honestly have a lot of admiration for him because Josh Mandel's thing was that he loved to program a lot of little responses and descriptions into his games. So you can definitely tell the screens that Josh was heavily involved on because they tend to be absolutely loaded with little things that you can look at and click on. We're not going to be going through all of those, but I definitely urge you to, if you're interested in this, if you enjoy this playthrough, pick up a copy of Space Quest 6 on Good Old Games or Steam and try it out, because there's a lot of stuff that I'm not going to cover in here. There's little incidental details that I think are well worth experiencing, and again, I really like this game, so I can't speak highly enough of it. And it's also good to have Gary Owens back as narrator, mostly because I love Gary Owens' narrating style, but also because now I don't have to read all the text, and that is always a plus for me. Anyhow, it's enough. Let's get to the quest here. So, once again, we have the cinema here. We have a bootlicker, a liquor store over here. Looks like a bike over by this lamppost. as well as a sullen-looking fellow around a trash fire. So let's take a look around at what we can see.
Rats! The cinema appears to be closed. You were really hoping to see Tango and Cash 27. Bootlicker appears to be open for business. That's an interesting piece of hardware. Your normally dim power of recollection actually recalls having seen a picture of one of these in the ship library. Get this, it's called a bike. People used to actually get on these and use their own muscles to achieve locomotion. What losers. Upon closer inspection, you notice some sort of ID card hanging on the frame.
Ooh, now that could be important.
Upon grabbing the ID card, you notice the picture on it is of a rather homely-looking alien type. Yes, everyone can't be as fortunate as you.
Okay, so our first inventory item. So speaking of which, let's go through our pockets here and see what we've got.
It's the alien ID you snagged from that rusty bike. That's a fairly hideous picture of the former owner. It makes the average Department of Motor Vehicles photographer look like Ansel Adams.
Good to see that Ansel Adams exists in this continuity.
That's your current Buckazoid collection. It's your trusty whisk broom and dustpan.
Okay, so we've got one Buckazoid, a broom, and this new ID card. So let's go take a walk around the streets of Polysorbate 60.
Another Orion's Belt franchise. That's one place you have yet to be banished from. I'll bet that's the finest neon sculpture on the whole corner.
I don't know why, but I used to love this this neon sign here.
This guy looks friendly now. Try to keep it that way.
Got a bouncer out front and an arcade over here.
Ah, an arcade. You haven't been in an arcade in at least a sequel or two. How cute. It has a really big replica of a coin slot.
Yes, there is an arcade game in Space Quest 6, as is tradition. So yeah, we have a couple places we can go here. We've got the bar, we have the arcade, but I'm going to take a walk down this road. And I also want to point out this graffiti here, Darmok and Jalad Forever. Maybe a pretty bog standard Star Trek reference, but it's one that I never got. The series is loaded with so much Star Trek, so many Star Trek references, and you know, as a kid I'd never watched it, but now as an intelligent adult who is cultured and sophisticated, I've seen quite a bit of Trek. So I'm really enjoying getting these little references that they spread throughout the games. Darmok and Jalad, of course, being actually one of my favorite episodes of The Next Generation. So yeah, let's walk down the street onto another seedy corner, and I actually don't remember.
Wow, a great woolly vulture. It resembles a hairy embryo.
I don't remember that guy. I remember the other aliens, but I don't remember ever seeing that guy before. That's interesting. Let's take a look around here.
Now there's an interesting sounding business name. You wonder what they sell.
Okay, we got implants and stuff, and the Do Beam Inn.
It's the Do Beam Inn, but I'm sure they accept pedestrians also. The door hinges aren't exactly overheated from a steady flow of eager patrons.
Some barrels of chemical waste over here. This is something else that I never noticed when I was a kid.
You wonder if there could be any connection between this kind of waste disposal and a thriving business like implants and stuff. Wow, that's kind of deep for you.
Hey, okay, give us some credit. I know you weren't around, Gary, but in Space Quest 5, we did stop a giant sludge monster from taking over the galaxy, so, you know, give us our due. We're pretty good at this stuff. Let's head down to implants and stuff, and let's go meet with a familiar old friend.
Yikes! Can it be? Why, yes it is. It's Fester Blatz, former owner and proprietor of Fester's World o' Wonders, a cheesy little tourist trap on the desert planetoid of Fleabot. The t-shirt looks, and unfortunately smells, like the same one he wore on Fleabot. He has the expression of someone enjoying a permanent wedgie. He has aged somewhat. Looks like he's grown a few more neck rings. These last few years have been rough on him. From what you remember of him, he used to be kind of an aqua blue. Now he looks like a used lug liner, are the color of a Vorillion miner's loogie.
Fester's funny because I saw him first in Space Quest 6, so when I would eventually go back and play Space Quest 3, I thought, oh hey, it's the guy from Space Quest 6.
Howdy, stranger. The name's Blatz. Fester Blatz. Welcome to Implants and Stuff. Go ahead. Have a look around at some of the most interesting replacement body components this lovely planetoid has to offer.
Oh, a nice fresh sales pitch.
Go ahead and look around, partner. I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have about my fine line of merchandise. Yes, sirree. Have a look.
Okay, so let's take a look around at some of his wares here. This is one of those screens that's just jam-packed with things to look at, so...
It's a marketing device for dumb. They design and manufacture a wide variety of implants, prosthetics, and conversion attachment kits. Hopefully their product is better made than their sign is.
Brain-dead products have been a staple of the home-built being hobbyist for decades now. They make a fine line of adapter plugs which allow for cross-species component swapping. Means you'll be able to pick up parts anywhere other beings exist. Nice deal, huh? They also make a pretty fine moddy. Get tired of what kind of mood your droid, or spouse for that matter, is in? Why, you just slap in one of those babies and bingo! You can modify them into a whole new attitude. Find a wife type who won't pay some big buckazoids for that. Too bad the sale of them is illegal. About all I do is trade for 'em. It's one of them loopholes, guess you could say. Kinda developed a hobby of collecting the suckers.
Alright, so Fester is the person to come to for moddies. Let's note that for later.
The drawers seem to be crammed with Moddy's plug-in modification implants, and the various adapters necessary to make them work universally. Fester has quite a collection of these, which is surprising. The sale of those things was banned years ago.
So we have some brains here under the counter.
This one's labeled fresh. By the looks of things around here, fresh is a very relative term.
And of course, Abby Normal.
What's special about this Abby Normal guy? Good night, Mr. Feldman, wherever you are.
Once again, a pretty obvious reference, but one that I didn't get as a kid, to Young Frankenstein.
An empty tank of gen blood sits in the dust. A generic synthetic blood which was originally designed for use as a temporary blood substitute in the event of traumatic loss. It has become a favorite in the You Build a Beast Brotherhood.
Yeah, this is the only place on the planet to get a good lobe piercing, I tell ya. And even though we don't have to, we do use only Lorshan quality body part piercing products. Less chance of pus buildup and drainage that way. That stuff tends to dull the erythrium coating on the hardware.
Now you know what happened to the infamous R2 line of droids. They've been reduced to carrying out the most trivial of tasks. Fester's using one for a gen blood blender. How sad. The R2 line of droids seemed like the hottest thing going in their day. Then they found that one little flaw in the programming. Unfortunately, the princess's personal life will never be quite the same.
The R2 line of droids, huh? Not sure what they're referencing there.
Them syringes you can use with lidocaine if you got some. Sometimes you gotta give old Butch a jump start right at first.
It's Star Wars. That's what they're referencing. It's Star Wars. I know that. Okay, so we've looked at pretty much everything that we need to know over here from old Fester Blatz. The moddies are the important part, so we'll keep that in mind for later. But let's head out. And what do we have here?
It's one of those new Kodrak mobile photo booths. I heard they were beta testing those.
A mobile photo booth, huh? Well, that sounds like something I'd like to use.
You pop a coin in the slot and climb on in.
All right, I'm looking pretty good. Fire away. There's got to be an optics problem with that machine. I look partially digested.
Good thing you didn't opt for that second set of prints after all. Guess that guy won't be filing any complaints with the Portable Business Association.
Yikes. Well, we got some photos of ourselves.
Let's look at it together and see what we can see, okay?
And they weren't even important enough to get a unique description. Okay, so we have a security badge, we have pictures of ourselves, so what would we do but attach one to the badge?
You quite cleverly paste your picture over the old one on the ID card.
Hey, check that out.
It looks vaguely like...
All right, so now we have a security card with our picture on it. That will definitely be useful. So I can, let's come over here real quick. Check out the Do Beam In. Couple of interesting characters sitting down here.
Those are some interesting-looking dudes. Must be a couple of real losers, since they seem to be dateless. Of course, that won't be a problem for you once word gets around that you've hit the planet. Can you believe he actually thinks that? Nice place, if you're a fan of dives.
Well, it seems like we can get a room here at least.
He seems to be ignoring you.
Excuse me. I'd like a room, please.
Really? I mean, really? Well, I think we got one or two for a couple of $100 buckazoids a night. In advance, you understand.
I believe I have a prepaid reservation provided me by StarCon.
I got no reservations from any StarCon. I got no reservations, period. I do a cash business. You want a room, cough out the buckazoids.
So that's, 200. Well, okay.
200? Don't you listen, son? I said 300. That's 300 a night. And I don't include any weird pets. Them's extra.
I could have sworn you said...
You calling me a liar? I don't need no guff from the likes of you. This is the finest lodging on the planet, son. If you don't like the prices, you can just take your sorry pinkish carcass out of here.
Well, 300? Okay, but give me your finest room then.
The finest room. Yeah, right. You got it, buckaroo. Best in the house. Coming right up. Pay up, and we're in business.
Okay, so if we want to get a room here at the Do Beam Inn, we are going to need some more money. Because we're out of buckazoids. We spent our last lone dime on that lovely photo of ourselves. So let's head back out. We're not ready to be here just yet. If I come this way now, actually let's take a look at these folks.
Those two look like people my mom warned me about. I think I should avoid them.
Interesting. She appears to be waiting for someone. She might be one of those professional ladies your mom told you about. She says, "Scrump off, you little felchmonger."
Scrump off? Well, fine. Then off we shall scrump. And this will take me back over here. Now playing is Star Trek, what is that? Star Trek 18, The Search for Khan's Implanted Pecs. Listen, Khan's pecs are perfect. Leave them alone. This fellow looks interesting.
He's too far away or doesn't care. He's too far away.
Hey, talk to me.
Hey!
I wonder if you... Nah, what was I thinking?
Hey!
Buddy, maybe you can help me out. I'm trying to track down this Ender Droid. I'm an Ender Droid runner. I know it don't look so hot, but I'm in disguise, you know?
In disguise? Yeah, you do look disguised. I just don't know what like. Hey, here's a tip. Think seriously about a flea dip.
I could really use your help getting this one. I've had a hell of a time tracking him down. You've gotta help me. Tell you what, if you can find and immobilize this bionic beer opener, it's worth 50 buckazoids to you. What do you say to that? I've scoured this dung heap, and haven't seen synthetic hide nor hair of him. All that's left to check is that bar. I'd go in there myself, you see, but I've had a little misunderstanding with the management. No biggie. I'm sure it'll blow over soon. Anyway, can you help me out? What do you say? 50 buckazoids. And if you don't mind me saying it, you look like you could use it. So how about it?
Well, I don't know. What's this Endodroid thing look like? And why do you want it?
Well, he's about your height, only maybe a few inches higher. And I'd say about your weight, give or take 60 pounds or so. But then that's just probably because of that stuff he's made of. Kind of a liquid metal thing, but that's not important. He's got a crew cut, and I think he was wearing a long, dark coat. Has a strange accent.
But why do you want him?
Oh, he made some people mad.
How?
Oh, I guess he sort of jumped out of his program and kind of killed and/or mangled a score or so of co-workers and, more importantly, management personnel. A big no-no. No big deal. I just gotta take him in for analysis and processing. It could help pull me out of my, unfortunate cash flow situation. And most importantly, it can mean 50 buckazoids for you. What do you say?
Well, I could use the buckazoids. I'll see what I can do.
Great. You won't regret it. You're gonna need this data quarter. It's been modified to only be sensitive to certain unique components like droidium, something only an Endrodroid would be composed of. This'll help you root him out. Good luck. Let me know when you've got him. Thanks. I gotta go check in with the home office. I'll check back out here a little later to see how you're coming along.
All right, so that's Blaine, the Endodroid runner.
It's that runner guy.
And he gave us a data quarter.
This is the data quarter you got from that Endodroid hunter dude.
So the data quarter is going to help us find the Endodroid. More importantly, it's going to come in handy later for the aforementioned miserably difficult puzzle. But we're not going to worry about that just yet. For now, let's just take a look at what we've got.
This is the faceplate of the data quarter. During normal operation, the faceplate is closed. It should only be opened to repair, replace, or reconfigure the internal components.
Okay, so this is the data quarter. We have an open and close button here. Again, this will come in handy later. God, it makes me shiver just looking at it, remembering this stupid-ass puzzle. Let's close it. So we can turn it on and see what we are scanning for. We can scroll through a list, but really we want the droidium. As we get closer to an Endodroid, this little indicator light will start to fill up, so we can kind of use that to gauge our progress as we approach him. And once we get to this...
Don't open the data, such as your...
Okay. Once we get to this godforsaken puzzle in here and we start making changes and flipping switches, we can hit this auto-reconfigure button to return it back to the default factory settings. So that's going to be very important. Anyway, let's turn this back on. And let's take a look through the things that we can scan for. We can scan for droidium. We can scan for Christ Almighty. Scan for all Palamine. Gimme a coal. Leslie Nielsen. Back to school. WW1 veteran. Balderall. That might be better suited for King's Quest VII, but we could use it here if we wanted to. V. Nielsen. Sudabum. cradle and all. And that's it, cradle and all. Yeah, again, we don't care about any of those mostly lame phonetic jokes. We care about droidium, so let's just go back to that, and we'll scan around for this Endodroid guy. He seems nice. Before we do, well, let's not go into bootlicker just yet. We don't have any money. We couldn't afford anything if we wanted to. So let's see if I pop on the data quarter. Not out here on the street. We have not yet been to the arcade or into the bar. So let's head into the bar.
Hello, Mr. Bouncer?
He pays very little attention. You're pretty used to it. But someday... It would appear that once again, Vice is a bit more profitable than most business ventures. This place is almost too hip for the planet. But then, that's no mean feat, given what a total heap this place appears to be.
Alright, so this is the Orion's Bar.
The large L-shaped bar, what you can see of it, looks quite spiffy. A guy could slide a mug of Coronian ale miles on that surface.
Or the Orion's Belt Bar. I just saw it and I already can't remember.
A quick look indicates that the bartender is physically well-balanced and adroit. A good combination for this profession. The shirt would further indicate that he has the mentality for it.
Let's check our data quarter. Ooh, okay, so droidium is very close. We have 2 dots on the indicator. Let's talk to the bartender, shall we?
What can I do for you there, fella?
What have you got?
Well, aside from the obvious stuff which is glaring in your face from the back wall here, I do make some mixed drinks. I mean, if I do say so myself, I make a pretty mean William Gibson and a pretty good ass-em-off cocktail, you know what I mean, huh? Hey, I got you. Try a fuzzy toad jam. They seem to be pretty popular with your particular species here.
Oh, well, the Asimov cocktail sounds good.
Okay, you got it, pal.
And then he ignores me, so... Can't even get a drink around here. Let's take a look behind the bar, though.
An interesting arrangement of conduits creates an almost artistic pattern to the back bar area. It's hard to tell what is merely decorative and what is functional. What a boss blender. I'll bet they can make all kinds of foo-foo drinks in that.
All right. Well, like I said, looks like we're not getting our drinks, so... let's continue to explore the bar.
Yep, it's the 4th guy in line for the restroom. Definitely standing room only.
Well, good thing we're an adventure game protagonist and we don't need to use the restroom. This is, again, not a Leisure Suit Larry game. So we've got two different portals here. We have a lift going up and a door going elsewhere.
This vertical adjustment device offers access to the loft above. You probably wonder where that goes.
I do.
It wouldn't be prudent to do that at this juncture.
So interestingly enough, if you try to open this door...
it feels slightly gritty. You suppress an urge to dust it.
You just get some generic error messages. I don't know why they don't just tell you that the door is stuck or something, because that makes it very, not very obvious what you're supposed to do here, which is you're supposed to go all bend throttle on this door and just kick it down.
Well, that wasn't too bad for a borderline physical specimen like you. It didn't quite get the job done, though. Nah, you still haven't convinced the door to yield to your obviously superior physical presence. Wow, you really did it! Not exactly the subtlest of entry techniques, but effective. That's pretty macho for the likes of you. Who would have guessed you'd have the makings of a Starsky or a Hutch, or a Tango or a Cash?
All right, doors open. Let's, we haven't done this yet. Let's go ahead and save often. And let's head down here.
You go now, and I don't rearrange your organs.
Huh, well, we found the Endodroid.
It's the Endodroid, and he's repairing himself. Yuck.
Well, let's go see if he'll turn himself in.
Hey there. So, what's up? Pretty crappy weather we're having, don't you think? Wow, so what's with the hole in your arm? That's gotta sting. My, you're a tall one. Is there something I can do for you?
He's apparently a social minimalist. His only reaction is the kind of look that makes you want to run to the safety of your closet and assume your all-too-familiar fetal position. I'm not going to say he told you so, but he did.
Our first Space Quest 6 death. This is luckily in the enlightened age of Sierra adventure games where they give you a try again button. So, unfortunately for the name of my channel, or the name of the series I should say, we are not going to necessarily need to save often because we've always got a try again button to save us when we screw up. So, let's get out of here. Let's grab this pipe off the ground first, though. That could be useful.
It's a fairly heavy and solid piece of pipe.
And let's get out of this guy's way. Head upstairs.
A waitron hovers about, tray in claw, tending to the upstairs clientele. It makes decent tips, especially for a synthetic being. The walls up here maintain the same conduit theme as below.
So we have more conduits on this back wall.
The walls up... this conduit seems to be unoccupied at the moment.
As well as this one damn pixel hunt conduit right here, which is going to be important to us. Let's see what we can do up here. Well, first and foremost, we can snag a tip off the Waitron.
You snag a Buckazoid off the Waitron. How cool you are.
Feels kind of dirty, but we also get 3 points for it, so, gotta get those points.
Wow, this sucker makes even you look like GQ material.
Got a few alien pals back here, just enjoying a little hookah.
These nitro suckers come in all types. They're all drawing on the hoses. Amazingly, they don't freeze. They just glaze over for a few moments while the others laugh. This one has a tattoo which says, "I love Lula." You start to say something and then you remember that you're supposed to be a man of action, not words. Or is that the other way around?
Alright, so it doesn't look like we can talk to them.
He, or whatever it is, emits what you think is a dim-witted guffaw. You rarely feel so conversationally superior, at least with animate objects. As with some other tables, a large tank marked liquid nitrogen sits beneath the center. It feeds the hookah manifold above. A set of hoses are within reach for each being which might be perched there.
Well, that seems important, so we're going to have to get rid of these guys. We do have this security badge, and, this is a pretty seedy little dive bar, so it stands to reason that they might be, they might not want to be involved with the authorities, so let's see if we can bluff our way through this.
You hear them say, "Geez, our skimmer's double hovered. We gotta run."
That was easy. So now...
You snag the 4 hoses. Never know when you're going to meet that special lady.
we can snag the hookah hoses.
It's a twisted mass of hookah hoses.
And furthermore...
carefully untangle the twisted mass of hookah hoses and then rehook the hoses to create one long hose. It reminds you of Christmas time back home when you enjoyed untangling the Christmas lights and saying to yourself, "I get so much satisfaction from cleaning and straightening. One day, I'll be the best janitor ever." Well, at least one part of that dream came true. You are a janitor. You rehook the hoses to create one long one.
Alright, so now we have one long-ass hookah hose.
Ah, the hookah hoses are now neatly connected.
Now as for this liquid nitrogen, we can actually move this somewhere. It only makes sense that we move it over to this pipe here, because it's there, and this looks like it would connect to it, so...
The canister snaps neatly into the conduit opening.
Oh, there we go. So now we've attached this liquid nitrogen here.
It's that tank of nitro I drug over here. Weren't you paying attention?
Interesting. So let's try turning it on.
Nitro begins to flow through the tubing and into the conduit.
Well, we're now pumping liquid nitrogen through the conduits behind the bar. What could this possibly be useful for?
Hey, that nitro's coming out through this conduit. Better shut the tank off before it's all wasted.
Uh-huh. So, liquid nitrogen is now flowing through this tube. So what you're supposed to infer from all of this is that we could theoretically maybe pipe this nitrogen through these conduits downstairs to perhaps freeze the endodroid.
Your organic makeup makes exposure to spewing nitro most unwise. There is no market for Rog sickles.
Alright, so let's go ahead and turn that nitro off.
The nitro stops flowing.
See, we have some new patrons up here.
He looks lonely, but not enough for your company.
One of our fellow StarCon employees. Alright, so with that nitro off, we can attach these hookah hoses to this conduit.
The hookah hose is now attached to the leftmost conduit.
Now, I'd love to get back here and mess with these.
Hey there, guy. Come on now. Hey, you can't come back here. You want something? You let me know, all right?
Yeah, but unfortunately the bartender's gonna stop us, so let's try our little security trick again, shall we?
So you're with Polysorbate Security, huh? Yeah, what can I get for you, Chief?
What have you got?
Well, aside from the obvious stuff,
This is all just the same.
I got just the thing for you guys. It's something I don't even give the regulars here. What do you think, huh?
Well, let's order the special.
Make me a double Uvula Spritzer. Twist a fleck rind, and I want it hacked and whipped, not like one of those shaken or stirred sissy drinks.
Okay, coming right up, Chief. Listen, this'll take a couple of minutes, but feast your eyes on the making of it, all right?
Oh, that's just fine. Take your time, my good man.
Alright, so this time he goes over to the mixer and starts to make our drink for us, so we can slip behind the counter. Check out this fridge.
The refrigeration unit contains an ice cube tray and some chilled beverages, none of which looks very enticing to you. You have to be careful about what you consume in these universal spaceport bars. One creature's wine is another creature's bile, and vice versa.
Okay, so we can't look at the important part here, but we can take it. The ice cube tray.
Let's look at it.
There's one more thing we can do behind the bar, and that's mess with these conduits.
Yo! You quickly close that valve again.
So that one's got stuff flowing out of it.
Yeah.
As does that one.
Yo!
As does that one. But this third one...
This one doesn't spew anything.
Spews nothing. I don't think that we can hook the hose directly up to the conduit.
You pick up the...
No, we can't.
You pick up...
Doesn't work that way, but what we can do is pull this pipe out.
With a flick of your very supple wrist, you pull the conduit loose from below the valve. Oops!
Alright, now we can grab our hookah hoses and shove them into this conduit.
You complete the connection between the two conduits.
Look at that, just enough. Let's head back up and turn that nitro back on.
Nitro begins to flow through the tubing and into the conduit.
Okay, so we are now pumping liquid nitrogen down through the conduits, through the bar, and presumably into the basement. One more thing that I want to do while I'm here, if I can, just for fun, and that's try to get caught by the waitress.
You snag a buckazoid off the waitron.
Hey, buddy, get your paws out of my tips or I'll liberate your favorite organ. I'll even let you choose. Or you can leave my tips alone and you won't have to worry about that decision. It's up to you.
No particular reason, I just remember that voice line very clearly, so I wanted to hear it again. Okay, so the bartender's still making our drink, so let's come down here and check out our handiwork.
You go now and...
Oh, interestingly, there is no handiwork. Wait a second. Oh, he unplugged the hoses. He's done mixing the drink. Alright, well, that's okay. We can pull this trick one more time.
Huh. What have you got?
Well, I got...
Make me... Oh.
That's an...
Okay, so now he's making our drink once again.
You pick up the loose end.
He apparently has no object permanence, knowing that he already did this thing for us, but hey, you know, whatever.
You complete the connection between the two conduits.
So now we have nitro flowing through the conduits. Let's head back downstairs, and once again, check out our handiwork. Okay, what the hell? What's going on here? The Endodroid is still not frozen. Did I not turn the thing on?
It's that tank of...
Let's try it one more time.
Nitro begins to flow through the tubing and into the conduit.
Okay, well, now the nitro is flowing. I must have spaced on that. Okay, take 3. Let's check out our handiwork. There we go.
Frosta la Kista, baby.
Wow, it worked! This dude's in a deep freeze. But now what are you going to do with him?
We've got to act fast because he could thaw at any time. Let's take this iron bar.
Cool. Laying a solid blow upside the head of this frigid felon has reduced him to cubes. He's not too hard to handle now.
We can't just pick up the cubes.
That's
But we can sweep them up.
You quite cleverly whisk the cubed culprit into your dustpan. It's going to be tough to carry him this way, though.
So it's a damn good thing we got this ice cube tray.
Very good. He'll be much more transportable this way. However, you'd better hope it doesn't thaw.
I'd better hope it doesn't thaw. But all I've got to do is get the hell out of here. So let's get the hell out of here. And there's Blaine.
Here's your cubed compadre. Where's my 50 buckazoids?
No bull. You really got him, huh? I mean, good job.
Yeah, I really got him. And I could really use my 50 buckazoids.
Tell you what, I'll pay you when they pay me.
No, I need the money now. Or I let the guy thaw right here, right now.
No, just a minute. You don't want to do that. Hold on to your alimentary contents. I got it here. Here, you happy? I'll just be taking that tray. Been a special treat doing business with you.
Well.
Hold it right there, pal. You don't want to go in there. Trust me, it's not a pretty sight. But then, neither are you. Nonetheless, it's bad news in there, and I can't let you enter. So hit the pavement.
All right, well, adventure game sociopath that we are, we got what we came here for, which was the 50 buckazoids. At what cost? Well, that doesn't matter. Go ahead and save our game. Okay, so the Endodroid has been dealt with. That was a fun little side quest. Let's see what we haven't done yet. We haven't yet gone to the arcade. Oh, hey, look, it's a Bjorn.
It's one of those Bjorn guys. It's so cute when they talk about assimilating everyone.
Yes, when I first saw the Borg, I thought, oh, it's the Bjorn. Let's check out this arcade. We could use some R&R after that little episode.
This arcade, known to the locals as Dismembers Only, is filled with lowlifes, druggies, and juvenile delinquents from all over the galaxy. And those are just the employees. Now that's an interesting specimen. Is this place the backwoods of the universe or what?
So there's lots of stuff to see in here. I remember all of these arcade games so well. They're all parodies of arcade games from the early to mid-90s. But let's just have a look around, just for fun.
This little purple being is kicking Fanny on this game. He's built up an audience.
This guy back here is playing a fighting game of some sort.
It's last year's hot arcade punch-em-up, more dull combat too.
Mm-hmm. What about this guy? What's he working on?
It's hard to see with this big oaf in front of it, but this looks like the hot new game, Beat the Crap Out of Urkel. It replaces last year's smash game, Beat the Crap Out of the Encyclopedia Britannica kid. You know, the one that keeps saying, "Ouch, you broke my mandibula." An overhead screen advertises a new kiddie-level arcade game in which you walk around Calcutta trying to match the right body part with the leper who lost it. It's called Mixed Up Mother Teresa. In this game, you have to play basketball in a three-piece suit, barefoot, while avoiding deadly athlete's foot fungus growing on the court. It's called NBA Toe Jam.
Nice.
This humongous expensive game is an all-time favorite. You have to duplicate famous gourmet dishes while piloting vintage combat aircraft against the Nazi menace. It's called Secret Recipes of the Luftwaffe. These lava screens from Magmetheus show soothing visuals while playing hot techno-lava tunes like, "What's lava got to do with it? You always hurt the one you lava. And just let your lava flow."
And finally...
This humongous expensive game is an all-time favorite. It's called...
No. This one.
Look, it's the hot new game, Stooge Fighter III. It's supposed to be the goriest, most violent arcade game since Disemboweling for Dollars.
Very interesting. Let's talk this fellow over here. He looks friendly.
So this is Stooge Fighter III. Doesn't look so tough to me.
Say, partner, care to indulge in a friendly game? By the way, the name's Djurkwhad. What's your mama call you?
A mistake. But my friends call me Roger. Roger Wilco.
Well, it's darn fine to meet you, Roger. So, what do you say to a friendly little round of Stooge Fighter 3?
It's funny how many of these dialogue lines I remember that I'm just reciting before they even come out. It's been many years since I've played this, but I know this game so well. I love it so much.
Gosh, Mr. Djurkwhad, that sounds neat.
So this is Stooge Fighter 3. This, I believe, if memory serves, is the only arcade sequence that we have to worry about here, and it's more of a puzzle than an arcade sequence, so we get to choose our Stooge.
This is the Lair Man. He has a mean ear twist, a sinus-draining nose tweak, and he does a pretty respectable crowbar to the nose. He is not one to be underestimated.
We've got the Lair Man, we've got Coily Joe.
This one's Coily Joe. Coily's bulk belies the finesse-laden look-up, look-down move, and the nyeh hand in the face. He also has the raw power to deliver a stunning fist-on-nose overhand. A powerful package indeed.
And lastly, Big Mo.
This is Big Mo. Big Mo's specialties are the face slap, and a particularly effective hair pull guaranteed to make even Geordie's eyes water.
Oof. All right, let's go with Lair Man. Always been fond of Larry. So there's two ways to play. You can either click on the pads here and on these buttons, or you can just use the keyboard. And surprisingly, it uses ASD to move and QWE to attack, so it's actually pretty keyboard friendly for an era that loved using the arrow keys for things. So there's a few different moves that we can pull here in Stooge Fighter 3. But this game is very heavily weighted against us. As you can see, our opponent seems to have a very powerful move that we don't have access to. All of my moves are doing just a couple of pixels worth of damage, but that nose pull takes out a giant chunk of my health bar.
Big Mo wins.
I don't know how we're supposed to compete with that.
Rumble.
We'll just keep on doing our best here. So you can make a little bit of progress. But before long, he's going to go on the offensive. So unfair. It's almost like he's cheating.
Big Mo wins the match. He moitered you.
Game over, man. So unfortunately, we
Wow, man. I guess I got real lucky. Or maybe you were holding back on me. Nah, you wouldn't do that, would you? You don't look that bright. I mean, that probably isn't your style. Wanna play again?
No, I do not. I don't like playing against
Not
cheaters.
Now. Thanks.
Stooge Fighter 3, it's not our game. That's enough R&R. Who's this?
The street's a little bit... No, can it be? It is. It's Elmo Pug, the former CEO of Scumsoft. Hard times have hit him like a ball-peen hammer between the, eyes. Maybe there is a karma fairy.
Good old Elmo Pug, who we haven't seen since the ending of Space Quest 3. Scumsoft, of course, being the software company that imprisoned the two guys and also made Stooge Fighter 3, so they're still in business, for better or for worse. Superman versus Batman. That joke marquee that would end up actually becoming a thing. Where'd Elmo go? There he is.
He's too far away, or... He's too far... He's too...
Talk to me.
He's too...
Hey! Say, you look familiar. Didn't I kick your butt in a huge robot once?
Oh yeah, that. I hope to forget that. It was the beginning of my undoing. I was a laughingstock around the company in the final days of Scumsoft. Oh well, if that hadn't gotten me, some of my other creative management techniques would have. In looking at the big picture, I suppose that arrangement left me with all my physical assets intact. Not a single other thing, unfortunately. I'm humiliated to admit that I have, on rare occasion, resorted to selling cheat sheets for arcade games. I've got to maintain a fairly, modest profile, I guess you could say. Time heals wounds and all that. Plus, maybe I can avoid a premature termination.
Wow. That's all very interesting. And very boring, if you don't mind my saying. What I want to know is, can you sell me a cheat sheet for Stooge Fighter 3?
Well, I think I may be able to facilitate that. I may have one in stock. Okay, here's what I need from you. A nice new bottle of Cold Sordian brandy. If you can deliver that, I think we can call it a deal. My people, I'll be waiting to take delivery from you so that we can put a bow on this deal. Catch you later.
Alright, so, poor Elmo Pug. Hard times indeed. He's looking for some brandy, and I know exactly where we can get that. How about bootlicker?
Pa Conshohocken sits behind the counter by his favorite possession, something he values greater than his own life, the cash register. Pa's been in business for quite a while, as his grizzled look might attest.
Who's this fella?
This little fleshwad looks familiar. You wonder what he's doing here. Must have been a victim of the telecommunications wars.
Quite obviously, E.T. But if you touch fingers with him enough... God, that cracked me up when I was a kid. What was I thinking? It's just a dumb fart joke.
The imported stuff, like Sapernell and Major Kirin, is too syrupy for your tastes.
Major Kirin, huh? Interesting.
There's no slowing down with a Silverberg bullet tonight.
I probably get a lot of these references now that I definitely didn't as a kid.
It's Ursula K. Le Guinness Stout, a perennially popular refreshment and winner of last year's Nebu Ale Award.
Yeah, Ursula K. Le Guin.
Your mouth waters at the wine coolers, especially this wild Roddenberry-flavored stuff. Then again, a nice frosty Harlan Alison, a cold-filtered Beers Anthony, or a Marion Zima Bradley sounds good about now. These cans of Heinleinekens have been sitting here since Lazarus. Heinleinekens, the strange beer in a strange can. This little flesh wad. Look just behind the cans of HP Love Draft and Kilgore Stout.
Kilgore Stout.
They've got a few cans of Meister Brautigan, the only beer made from watermelon sugar.
I love all the sci-fi references here. I never knew about these.
Weekends were made for front lobe, and you wouldn't mind removing a few yourself. Ooh, you've got a good eye. This stuff is excellent. It's called Something Wicked Ale from Ray's Brad Brewery.
Okay, in the year of our Lord 2021, that sounds like something that could be an actual cheeky beer by an actual cheeky brewery.
These appear to be bottles of Alan Dean Foster's Draft Ale, but it's hard to tell because the labels are so faint. They must have been printed in draft mode. It's just some green stuff.
All right, fair enough.
Interesting magazines like This Old Planetoid and The Babes of Polysorbate occupy this space.
All right, let's talk to Pa.
Hi there.
Howdy there, partner. The name's Pa Consahawker. Yeah, that's my name. I'm the proprietor of this here establishment here. Now, anything I can sell you, why, you just let me know. But if you steal anything, I'll be forced to kind of kill you. Welcome.
That sounds fair.
What's behind the counter? Is this our brandy?
Pa keeps some of the more expensive stuff back here, like Jurassic Dark, Raymond E. Feisterbrow, and Samuel Douglas Adams. Pa keeps some.
Okay.
So, Pa, what's the stuff behind you?
Oh, that, eh? Why, there's the good stuff, sonny. I got some real fine stuff back here. Oh, yeah, I do. That's cold Saurian brandy. That's what that is. Best available in these parts here. Now, it's way out of your price range, I'm sure. It goes for 20 buckazoids per.
20 buckazoids, you say? Well, I happen to have 52.
I'd like a bottle of your cold Saurian brandy, please.
Well, so you're interested in the good stuff, eh? I'll just take that 20. Thank you. I haven't sold much of this stuff lately, except to some sorry-looking little pud. Oh, hey, that reminds me. He still owes me some money. No, I can't believe I fell for that scam. Oh, well, enjoy, sucker.
Alright, we have a bottle of cold Saurian brandy, which is a reference to Saurian brandy from Star Trek.
It's that cold Saurian brandy Elmo wanted. Yuck! It has a fish floating in the bottom. Oh well, to each their own.
That damn fish. Alright.
A stack of papers lay unattended on the floor. Apparently, Pa doesn't get in a big hurry to put stuff away. The headline reads, Lindbergh baby kidnapped.
Alright, well that's enough here. Let's head back out. And there's our pal, Elmo Pug. Oh, Triple X-Files is now showing at the cinema. You know, I love that the cinema is closed, and yet somebody keeps on changing the damn marquee. Anyway. Let's make good on this deal.
Yes! Mr. Wilco, I'm most pleased you've chosen to do business with us. You're just in time, too. I have another party on his way interested in the same item. Oh, well, his loss. Well, I'll take that off your hands. Now, per our agreement, here's your cheat sheet. I'm certain you'll find the game much more interesting now. Also, you look like you could use this fish. Enjoy, Mr. Wilco. I have a real important business in another part of town. Be seeing ya. Oh, by the way, I'd appreciate if you'd not mention our meeting to anyone. Some of those purple-skulled old stockholders really hold a grudge, okay? Bye-bye.
Yum.
Elmo has definitely taken a turn for the worse. You'd like to think it was your exit from the admittedly captive rank of that off-world sweat orb, Scumsoft Incorporated. It was probably something dumb like a compulsion for pet projects or personally beneficial programs over those things important to the company as a whole. That couldn't be it.
Ah, wow, bitter. Okay, well now we've got this cheat sheet.
It's the Stooge Fighter III cheat sheet you got from Elmo.
To guarantee a win, the cheat sheet says, when at the choice screen, press the machine's letter buttons in the following order: A, B, B, A, C, A, C, A. Then, be aggressive and attack as much as possible using your new secret weapon.
All right, so that's how they're doing it. Let's go challenge old Djurkwhad to a rematch, shall we?
Hi, Mr. Djurkwhad. How about another game of Stooge Fighter? I'm feeling a little luckier this time.
You know, kid, I'd really like to, but I need a little more of a challenge. Take a long walk off a short asteroid, okay?
What's the matter? Afraid a measly little pencil-neck low-life janitor and general waste of human life is going to embarrass you in front of your friends?
Well said.
Hold on there, you little puke! I'm not afraid of some puny little zit on the butt of the universe!
Djurkwhad is a scaredy cat. Djurkwhad is a scaredy cat.
All right, you little wad of spit. Let's play. I'll waste you. Tell you what. Let's make it interesting. If you win, I'll give you 300 buckazoids. However, if I win, you're mine to do with as I see fit. The deal?
So interestingly enough, I remember trying to lose this intentionally to see what would happen, and nothing actually happens, kind of dispelling the myth of the stakes here. I kind of wish they would have at least programmed a death in or something. Anyway, let's rumble.
Oh, this is gonna be fun! Oh, you're a bit puny, but I'm sure I'll be able to get a few buckazoids for you over at the slave colony.
I'm sorry. I don't think I heard you quite right. Did you say slave colony?
Too late to back out, Borg breath.
I knew that.
Bjorn breath. All right, this time, let's wreck this fool. A, B, B, A, C, A, C, A. Well, looky there.
It hurts your eyes to look.
We get a secret button. Let's try Lairman again, shall we? I think this is gonna go much more in our favor.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Come here, it's clobbering time.
Lairman wins. Rumble.
Much more even fight now.
Lairman wins the match.
GG.
How lucky can a guy get? That was pure luck. Gee!
Where's my money?
Here. Now, if I were you, I'd make myself scarce, you little lump of phlegm. Otherwise, I'm gonna lose my temper, and all that's gonna be left of you is teeth and toenails.
All right. Well, we're finally done with the arcade portion. This early in a Space Quest game, no less. It's incredible. Well, we've had a great time here. We've gone to the bar, we've gone to the arcade, we hung out with Fester Blatz. I think it's time we take this 332 buckazoids and maybe go, let's go get a room for the night, shall we? Catch some rest. It's been a long day here on our first day of shore leave on Polysorbate 60.
Okay, son, you just scribble your old Bill Shatner on the register screen and I'll get your key card. It's as fine a room as you'll find on this orb.
You have a brief moment of what you think is cleverness. You decide to wittily sign the name Franzel Neekberm.
Okay, here's your key card. Don't lose it. Room 1220J. Up the elevator. Franzel Neekberm. If I had a buckazoid for every time I'd seen that name, I'd be sitting pretty. I could afford one of those fancy fur-lined donut thingies that... What was I saying? Anyway, enjoy your stay. If you need anything, don't hesitate to tell someone.
Gee, thanks. Say, could you tell me where...
I'm a real busy guy, son. You got any questions, why don't you just go find the Chamber of Commerce and talk to them. I'm sure they'll be glad to help you out. Be seeing ya.
Okay, cool. Let's go up to our room. Catch a few Z's.
It's the hotel's not-so-elegant upstairs hallway.
All right, well, 1220J, that's us.
Just as you are about to insert the key card so you can go inside and check out your new digs, you notice those two goony-looking dudes from the lobby walking in your direction at a rather deliberate pace. Perhaps they're going to welcome you to the place or show you where the ice machine is.
Hey there, pal. Got a second? Me and my friend here was wondering something.
Fire away. What did you want to know?
Well, we was wondering if you'd have any objection to us pounding you senseless. Grab 'em and let's get moving. I gotta report in soon. You puny little scumbag. I can't believe anyone would want you. One thing's for sure, you sure ain't gonna be seeing your home son ever again. Hey, Nigel, let's get back to it, huh? We got things to do and places to go. Now, just sit there and be still and be quiet, little man. I've got some things to finish before I finish you.
Well, that's just great. Now what are we supposed to do? Just when we were getting some rest and relaxation, we get beat up and kidnapped, and now we're stuck here in this grungy apartment. Oh god. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen to Roger Wilco? You know, this is the last Space Quest game. This might be our doom. This might be where... Oh! Roger Wilco dies? I don't know. We'll just have to find out next week in part 2 of Space Quest 6. Thank you, as always, for joining me. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your time and support. Thank you for letting me be a part of your day. Having a great time with this. Love Space Quest 6 very much. Looking forward to getting into more of it. Yeah, let's come back next week and find out a little bit more about what's going on here. We might even see that nefarious data quarter puzzle that I alluded to. Anyway, I will see you next week. Remember to save early and save often, and as always, take care of yourself. Thank you very much, and have a great day.